All right, what's up, boys? Did anyone see the soccer match? Yep, calling it soccer. We're calling it soccer because, I mean, like, let's be honest, bro. I don't think Europeans even have the right to name the sport anymore after what we just saw. That was embarrassing from England. It was an embarrassing game. 0-0 victory for the United States. Love it, bro. It was great. This Reddit post. Okay, it's time, boys. It's time, because now we are starting to see all the North American teams sign their academy teams. So we have C9s that just came out today. C9s is Fake God top with Tomio, Emenez. AD carry is Lost, and the support is Zazel. So, I mean, that team right off the bat looks like it would be a pretty strong team. It's funny because a lot of these academy teams that are being signed literally just look better than the bottom tier LCS teams in previous years. But I mean, this year LCS looks like it's taken a little bit of a step up in terms of rosters. Like the bottom, there's no like complete dog shit roster being formed right now in LCS. So, you know, a lot of these academy teams make sense. Reddit was super mad because they talk about this. This is always the discussion. So we'll start at the beginning. TSM announced their academy team. Their academy team includes Hanser, Svenskeren, and Wild Turtle, who all won a championship together in 2017. So, like, you know, 5 years ago they were champions of LCS. Triple, who's been active for a long period of time. He's been in NA Academy. I think this will be his third year in NA Academy. And Dragku, who is a OC player. He's an OS player as well. But people are really really upset about this roster, obviously, because there's a lot of veteran experience. You've got like 20 plus years experience on 3 different players. So instead of bringing in younger, unproven talent, we're bringing players who IMO should never be in Academy. The 3 veterans together have about 20 years worth of LCS experience, 10 or so LCS titles, a world semifinals appearance, and even an IEM world championship. Okay, Wild Turtle, I like that. At this point in league history, there needs to be cutoffs for when a player isn't allowed in Academy anymore. By the rules, you could have an Academy roster of Impact, Xmithy, Bjergsen, Doublelift, and Core JJ. Academy should be a place where new talent can play against other players of a similar skill level in a professional environment, not a place for 30-year-old vets to idle until they get picked up by a team. Okay, wait, let's just look at some ages real quick. Hanser, LOL. How old is Hanser? Hanser is 27. Svenskeren is 26. And Wild Turtle is 27. I mean, for me, like, the issue that I think here is there's just this assumption that there's like younger, unproven talent out there. Bro, it just doesn't exist. There's like not younger, unproven talent that is better than these players. And I don't think that every single team needs to be like developing like rookies, right? I think the idea behind this team is they want to have suitable replacements, and they're essentially just going to be like a 10-man roster. Like, I assume that Hanser, Svenskeren, Wild Turtle are all signing to this team with hopes that they can actually get a starting spot on the main team. So they're going to be competing for that starting spot. And for a team like TSM that doesn't have like super like S plus tier starters, like they have kind of a middle of the pack roster going in. I don't think there's anything wrong with having good backups, like having solid backups and not going the full on development route of young players. But yeah, I mean, there's just not that many good young players, bro. Look, if I'm still getting as high rated as I'm getting at the end of the season, I'm playing against all these guys, bro. A lot of those players just fucking suck. A lot of the players that are like amateur players can't even hit challenger, bro. They're not even challenger players. Why would you accept a challenger player that doesn't have like more? They don't have more talent than somebody like Hanser or Svenskeren. Like, Hanser is just a simply better player than a lot of these players. Hanser was like 1K LP for most of the season. He was playing well. He seemed like he was serious about the game. He's like try-harding in solo queue. I just don't see a reason why you have to give this slot to somebody who's like not had a shot before just because they've not had a shot before. Like, if they want this spot, they should just play like better. They should get to the point where they're comparable enough to Hanser that their skill can end up, or their potential can end up being the thing that tips them over the edge, the deciding point where you end up wanting to commit to a player like that. I don't really see the point of giving slots to players that are just not as good because they simply haven't had a shot before. Yeah, I think it's just weird. I mean, if there was really good talent that was getting snubbed as a result of this, I would be more against it. But like, what other top lane like hyper talents, like, well, who are you going for? You already have Sniper in Academy, right? Like, he's one of the talents. He's already in Academy. You already have Soul in Academy on EG. Like, you already have the couple talents that there are in there, who else do you want, bro? I'm with Surdy. Well, the problem with Surdy is that like he got freed up super late into the offseason. So a lot of teams are not going to wait around. If you get screwed by your organization and your contract is up late in the offseason, people don't want to take that risk, because if he's not guaranteed to come to your team, you'd rather just have a player that's good and have your first option instead of like contending for somebody else. By this point in their career, they don't need to be in academy to hone their skills, and teams don't need academy to see what they're like. Well, I mean, I would argue that players like Hanser and Svenskeren, that like Svenskeren didn't play pro for a full year. Hanser hasn't been in, like, he hasn't been a pro for 2 years now, or I guess it's been a full year. It's been 2 years since he was in LCS, 1 year since he was in academy. I don't think like those players could potentially go straight into LCS. I think it's way too risky to put them straight into LCS. So I see it like this. TSM is getting these two players, and if Hanser and Svenskeren are able to like really get back into their form, they'll probably just end up being starters. All right, so let's look at the shade at while he misspelled this one too. Like, to be honest, the player, I would much rather have a player like Hanser who's taken like a year off, then go back into academy and try to like work his way up quickly to see like if he's still got it, than a player like Lost that has been in LCS for years and been like underperforming for a while, to be honest. Like, I would much rather have a player like Hanser or a player like Svenskeren come back into academy after a year off than players that have been playing the whole time, like Wild Turtle, for example, or a player like Joey, for example. Like, I would much rather have Biofrost be in academy after taking a year off and playing a year of LCS than a player like Joey who's been in academy for like 5 years. Isn't it good to have gatekeepers in academy so you have an idea of how good new players are and potentially give them better practice? I mean, I think that this is actually a decent mix. Like, you have players that are coming in that could be good. Like, you have Concept, you have Philip, you have Bradley, you have Sniper, you have Soul. Like, it's not like you're just getting only veterans in academy. People have this mentality, like, they act like it's 10 older players. Where it's like here, I mean, ADD is obviously a player that's been around a while. I assume that he's in another spot where he's going to be challenging for a roster spot. Hoon, not really a huge, fan of having players like Hoon. I know it is Hoon, but I'm not a huge fan of having like veteran or players that have been in the space a while be imports and then take up academy spots. But I mean, here there's only like, who are the older pro players? I mean, it's essentially only Hanser, right? If you look at this whole list. Like, Fake God's not that old. Jenkins is not that old. Hanser is literally the only guy that has a ton of LCS success that is now in academy. So essentially you had Darshan for a while, and then now you have Hanser. It's not that bad. People are being like over dramatic. They're like, dude, young players just have no spots to go. It's like, dude, Sniper proved his worth. He got rank 1 a bunch of times, played a year in amateur. The second that he was eligible for academy, he played in academy. Like, Soul is a player that has a lot of potential. He's somebody who goes into academy. Like, he's worth the spot. Philip looked good last year. He's somebody who's worth the spot. Concept has been 1KLP plus for years now. Back when 1KLP actually meant something, he gets a spot. It's not like it's only old boomers. Like, it's really not that bad. I think people are pretty overdramatic. Why do I see Unforgiven in NA Academy? Challenge versus double lift. Challenge to potentially get double lift spot. All right, let's look at some of these other rosters. So I think C9's roster, I really like to see that Tomio got a spot. Eminez, obviously. So the whole thing about Eminez that everyone said is that people just act like, people say that he's crazy. I don't know anything about him. I don't know any of the drama. The rumors are that he's like super toxic in a team environment, can't work. Like, he's really fucking good, but you just don't want him on a team, which is interesting because when you look at the rest of this team, like Fake God, really nice person, Tomio, really nice person, Lost, really nice, Zazel, really, like, the whole team is super calm. So I wonder how this dynamic's gonna work. Or maybe that was the idea. It's like, okay, maybe Eminez like just needs to be with 4 teammates that can actually take it. TL, I like the fact that APA is finally getting a shot. City Witty has been like just a player that's been consistently at the top of the ladder for a while now, but he was like a jungle main, and then this season he played like mainly AD, and now he's playing support. So we'll see how that actually goes. EG's roster, Soul and Shaden paired with Tommy, 4th year in North America. He's in academy still. King and Smoothie. I mean, we'll see. 100 Thieves looks really fucking good. They look like they should just run over academy. Pretty's been one of the best mid laners in academy for a while. On top of that, you have Yukino, like young talent, really, really mechanically skilled. A little bit dumb. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I played against him a lot. He's a little bit like, or maybe he's just got insane ego. Maybe he just like ego invades constantly. He's a little dumb, but he's really fucking good. You know, Sniper, really fucking good. The hope of NA, the prodigy. Unforgiven was one of the best AD carries in Europe. All LEC first team, all pro, like super good. And Destiny, I mean, Destiny's good for academy. Destiny's kind of just like He's good for Academy, bad for LCS, which is where he is. And that's pretty much it. And we found out where Hoon's playing. He's still playing in Dignitas. Okay, cool.